Hi, everyone. This is Jim Gillis with Win My Vote, also with the National Student Mock Election. Sorry, I don't have my camera on, but I'm not in the office and just wanted to get sort of in a real short version of an intro to what Win My Vote is. So, Win My Vote, the idea was born in 2016. I was flipping through the voter information guide and sample ballot and was looking at it and said to my wife, hey, if Steve Jobs was in charge of voter information, do you think it would look like this? And I said, no, of course it wouldn't. It would look like iTunes, and running for office would be 99 bucks. So with that, I kind of thought, well, why hasn't this thing gone online, mobile, or social? Everything else has. Um, and then I kind of was running through the numbers real quick and said, there's 190 million voters, which we can call buyers. It's about a million candidates that are sellers. It's a $6 to $11 billion industry, depending on what numbers you use. Neither side is happy. If you talk to voters, that's a given; they're not happy. If you talk to candidates, they'll tell you the worst part of their job is having to raise money. Believe it or not, they don't want to go out and raise money and make backroom deals any more than voters do. So the technology is in place. That can't be it, and the content is already in place. So I'm kind of a head scratcher. So I started building one, and this is what we came up with. Just a really basic platform where the candidates could build their own profile the same way they would build a LinkedIn profile or an online dating profile or anything else. And they would be featured right on the ballot, right on the race. So as I get my ballot, I can click on a candidate and I can scroll through the candidates on this in this race, and I can look at each one of them, and then I can kind of do a little quick deep dive into each one and go through the About Me section, and then I can click on issues, and you can see up here I can go to an issue that's most important, or I can just scroll through them real quickly the same way you would like on a Twitter feed. One of the nice things about it is that it doesn't go away, right? So it's always here, so I can always come back and compare back and forth. Um, I can also, see the endorsements, and these are endorsements that the candidate has featured themselves. But we have a feature called Trusted Sources, which are 100% opt-in. So I don't really care, for example, let's say what the National Potato Council thinks, or maybe, California Forward or whatever it may be. I want to know the groups and organizations that I trust. I want to know if they're endorsing this candidate. So I can click on, just show me my trusted sources. And now I can see all those. And ironically, the potato counts is still there. So I did select them without knowing it. So here I can also just click straight through and hear a video right from this group. I can go back here and I can listen to Larry Lesnick here and what he has to say. But believe it or not, most important is my friend Sarah. She does a ton of research on candidates, and she's fair-minded, and I know her really well. And I can just click here and I can hear exactly what she has to say. And creating these are super simple because she's just going through her ballot, clicking on a favorite, and it pops up and says, do you want to do a written or a video endorsement? She says, sure. She can do a written endorsement right there, or she can just upload the share URL from YouTube, and then her video will play, right there. So with that, I can do this. I can also click straight through to the group or organization, and they have their own, essentially is their voter guide, right, which is all of their favorites that are on my ballot. So the groups can favorite anyone nationwide, but I'm only seeing the ones that are going to be on my ballot. And here, if I want, I can just click straight through, and I'm going to favorite Elizabeth Warren, and then I'm going to favorite Sam Jones, and you can see the names and the pictures don't always jive. Or I can even just go up here and say, I want to vote just like, the American Federation of Teachers, and all my ballot will then be filled out. So now I'm back to, my ballot here. And let's say I favorite Elizabeth Warren and I want to share this with some friends. So I can click here and say, hey, check out this candidate, et cetera, et cetera. And instead of them getting a link to her website, which is there's no reason for them to ever go back to, there's no utility in her website, except for her information. So here he can get all of her information. He can sign up real easily with social media. So now he's there. And then when he goes back, he has his own ballot here. and he can go down to his ballot and he can see, all the way down, state assembly, city council, all the way through the propositions, etc. And the way that this really takes money out of elections is by me, voter, or in this case, Tony T232, is going to be looking at all the candidates in the race all side by side. So, for example, Kathy here can spend $850,000 in campaign for a year. Trisha can spend $150,000, and Mike can spend $600. Carl at $1,800. So with this, I'm going to click on Mike, and now I can learn about, Mike. I can see all of his issues, his endorsements, you name it. And here, I want to learn a little bit more about Unite America. That's the party that he's running under. So I can see, again, all of the candidates that Unite America are endorsing. I can also click straight through and I can learn about this group. And again, this is all the information that I need to make a well-informed vote, all in the right place, all at the right time, at the time that I am actually consciously and actively, choosing, for whom to vote. So I can read about them, and let's say I'm really a proponent of ranked choice voting, and I say, great, so are these guys. I can then, go on the issues and see where Mike stands on some of these local issues, and everything looks good, and I'm gonna choose him, or I can choose him straight from my ballot, and then he'll go right here in this first position. They'll fade a little bit, so it's very certain, who I'm gonna vote for. I can also go here and click on just my favorites. So now it's really easy. I can see all my favorites. I can go down, I can check out the propositions, and the propositions are just as elaborate as the candidates. I know I'm just trying to make this a quick video, so I won't go into those. But they're the same way, and they all have endorsements and pros and cons, and you can go through all those and select yes or no and all that. So I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to find my polling place, and I'm going to go vote. So it's really the ability to go through your entire ballot and organize and manage your vote. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.